Hello, hello. Welcome. Okay. Welcome to the January 31st Town Hall or Super Intelligent AI SEO Network lobby. And this is open to everybody. Doesn't matter whether you're a paid member or not. And I want to hop back in with Paul here, and he's got a glare behind his camera, so he's probably not going to turn his camera back on for us. But Paul is a free member in the community. But Paul, if you'll just unmute yourself again and just kind of share what it is that you do. And again, I know that we talked about this off camera or off recording, but I really think it's important for people to understand the potential and what we're trying to build in the community, and the whole purpose of the super intelligent AI SEO community and who Russell and I are. So first of all, how do you know us? How did you come to know about us?
I don't remember exactly how I learned, but you popped up, I believe, as I was looking at some stuff related, because I do a lot of AI stuff. I believe YouTube recommended one of yours or his, and so I started tracking you. I really liked what you said. I'm a big Kelley fan, so I have that background, which is maybe what the algorithms were looking at as far as the things that I liked. Also friends with Daryl Osborne. So I've kind of been in your orbit satellite, kind of going around that, but I run a small boutique marketing firm out of South Florida. And my main focus is mostly local SEO and marketing with a heavy emphasis on AI and tracking anywhere between 30 minutes to an hour on what Google's doing every day so that we can work the system. The majority of my clients actually are other advertising agencies that use me as their secret weapon. So it's a little easier for me. I run it with my son and about 10 VAs. And so mostly what my fun part is kind of trying to figure out what's working, what's not working. I love doing testing. So we're constantly testing what's working, what's not working. I'm involved in a couple of masterminds, getting ready to be more involved in your stuff. So that's why we're here as the fly on the wall.
Okay. Well, we are doing some amazing stuff in that line in the Move 37 group. And that's more of Russell's thing. If, I'm going to just share my screen here a moment and see. I was doing taxes today, because it's the end of January, which means all your stuff has to be into your accountant so that they do stuff. All right, so I just want to go through what we've got because maybe you haven't had a chance to kind of look behind, the hood of what's going on in there. So in our Move 37, which is the mastermind that you would you can see my screen, correct?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. We have it called the classroom, but in here, this is where Russell will, we require an NDA because this is where we call this is where we call bullshit. If something's not working, we want to expose it. We don't want to just say, oh, this is the way that so and so's doing it, or this is the way so and so's doing it, and that's the only way to do it, because it's not true. All of us have been in SEO long enough to know that, certain ways of doing things do certain things, but there's no this way is the way that fits everything. And it might have been working before the last update, but it doesn't work anymore. And so, we have different things in here that we working. This is all the software that you get with it. Currently, we have up to 10, but we've got a couple more that we're getting ready to release, that we pay for, like the group of it, and then it allows all the members to be able to access those types of things. Russell's really getting into his one wubbering system, and he's breaking it down in all of the layers. Um, and then, we've got members in, so we got Daryl Osborne's secret stuff. And then we got members in here that also have been doing their own testing. And so, once they've been vetted and what they're talking about actually makes sense, Russell creates rooms for them to be able to, share their secret stuff. In the Eureka AI content creation, do you do any content creation at all in your or are you mostly just doing ranking, or do you do blogs, or do you handle any of that with your agency?
Some of my regular clients, local clients, I do some mostly changing pages optimized for conversion rather than like writing blogs and all that kind of stuff. They have through me access to AI that has a marketing bent that allows them to do all those things the actual either marketing people or the owners or managers. But so I don't do a lot of that kind of content. I do content as far as rewriting home pages and landing pages to make them
Right.
convert better. Yeah.
So what Russell has created, because not only is he an SEO, but he is also he has spent a significant amount of time studying marketing as well as studying the way that the mind thinks, neurocognitive biases and stuff like that. And from that, he created a Eureka Gain score GPT that will take whatever is written, whether it's your home page, your landing page, a blog, and it scores it for the not only for the current SEO engines, but also for the AEO engines, for Perplexity, Claude, Chat GPT, and any future answer engines that are coming out. So that's what's in the what the Eureka AI content creation that's using artificial intelligence, and we're working on a what you see is what you get SaaS, where you can just take your screen, whatever article, whether it's your homepage, whether it's a post that you're doing, whether it's a Quora blog, because we also do a lot with the Quora thing, which is also in Move 37. Which gives you your Q&A, high domain authority backlinks, and how to, get those to shoot your rankings straight up. So by using this scoring algorithm that he created through this GPT, which is currently a GPT, it allows you to, score your content so that it's relevant and will stay relevant. It makes it more evergreen. Um, then, Jimmy Kelley, that's who, you probably found us through. So he has a software called Brand Signals. And inside, as a member of, actually, if you're a member of Agency Elite, it pretty much gives you access to most everything. Move 37 is an invitation only. So, Russell has to interview you and find out about you in order to, you know, to determine, whether you have access to. So I can't just say that that one is open to everyone. You can go directly into Move 37 as well. But Jimmy's stuff is you get Brand Signals interface, and you can purchase Brand Signals. You can go to Brand Signals and you can buy it. And to run a Brand Signals campaign out on, just retail, runs about $170 to $250 per campaign. And it utilizes the software that Jimmy created to help boost the map pack. But it requires a tremendous amount of on-site optimization to get the best results out of Brand Signals. And so most of all of 2024's training was him teaching on site structure specific to the use of his Brand Signals. And then in 2025, we just meet and do Q&A. So students, show their websites, or they show their campaigns that they might be having issues with, any updates. So we do that bi-weekly with him. But as a student, you get a significant discount on the price of the campaigns. So that's not available anywhere else. And you get your own Brand Signals interface with that. And then in the local agency elite training, which is what I alluded to before I turned the camera on, or before I turned the recording on, was that it really is to try to help with everything agency related. So I'm not going to talk so much about SEO inside the local agency elite training. I'm going to talk more about MEO, or map engine optimization, which some people call local SEO. But because this is actually a completely separate search engine, as you know, it's actually a map engine, because when you click on the map pack, it takes you, away from the Google search engine and takes you to the map engine. And so this is really specific on, how to stack selling, how to, get out there and sell. And like I said, when we go public with this, because we haven't, everybody that is in our network has either found us through, you know, a, the TikTok or or YouTube, but most of the people that are in here are people that we've known for, in some cases, over a decade, or came into us, through the Q Miracle with Mike Long. So that's what's behind the paywall. The AI for all is where, um, Russell kind of unplugs and goes crazy with his AI thing. Like you said, you probably found him with one of his AI videos. And then in our calendar of events, which is open to everybody, it shows everything that's going on in the network. That's open. Okay. Let's go back to February. So in February, you can see that Wednesday through Friday, we're always going to have some sort of meeting. It's going to alternate, like Jimmy Kelley's only every other week. AI for All is only every other week. Move 37 is every other week. Agency Elites every other week. Eureka AI content is every other week. And then the Q Star is a free area. And then this one, the Townhall lobby, is a free area as well. So every other week, there's also going to be a free access webinar like this, where we go over, depending on how many people show up, it's open for, it's a fair game questions. What are we working on? What have we found that, is working? What have we found that's not working after the updates? We're fair game too, talking about quite a bit of stuff. In the updates, just to kind of see where people are at, I'm trying to get more engagement with the free community. And so I've started posting these, questions, and hopefully we can start getting some people to start answering them, and we can start getting some community engagement, even if you're not behind the paywall. Maybe you're like waiting for whatever to happen before you want to get into a paywall. That there's still people like you, Paul, that are very skilled SEOs that are in this local lobby. Some people that have been in this business for 25 plus years, that know a tremendous amount and own very large agencies, are part of the SEO lobby. And so I think it would be very exciting for some discussions to be put up in this in this area. I would encourage members to let's see if I can find you in here. What's your, I don't know if I can, yours will pop up. But anyway, I just want to, like, just for example, if we'll take Russell's. If you look at a profile on here, really want information about you, what you offer, whether if you are an SEO, like for example, Paul, you might, put more information about the fact, what you offer, what services you offer. Because we would, LinkedIn pages, things that tell us about you, because we want this to be a collaboration forum. We want this to be a place, that's not like LinkedIn or Facebook or one of those places where, everybody's trying to sell you something. We really want this to be a place where we can collaborate. And so making sure that you get into your, into your profile and tell more about yourself and what you have to offer the community. And then there is a daily streak thing that when you come in, you will gain points, and the points are not for you to buy anything with, but those points are used to upvote people. And if there's somebody in the community that has really been involved, that's really been given some great information, or brought something to the table, it's an opportunity for members within the forum to upvote them and to show them what they, to show their appreciation for what they've brought to the community. And then our Q Star AI area is where Russell is just constantly dropping information that is cutting edge of things that are in the AI world. So he puts them here as well as on TikTok. But this is, here they're not going to get taken down. They're not going to have any copyright infringements or anything like that. So there's stuff that's, easier to find and access that way. So that's kind of what we're about and what we're trying to accomplish here. The AI before AI is not coming out, but it stands for Almighty Intelligence before Artificial Intelligence. And at some point, that's something that I coined back in 2018, before we were even at this place that we are currently with AI. Let me see if I can find my thing to stop sharing now. But I know, Mike, you're in the background. Do you guys got any questions for me? Anything that you would like me to get into? I'm going to kind of keep these town halls open for them to, just be a place where, if you've got questions for me, if you want to know something, ask me. Otherwise, I don't necessarily have any like lesson per se that I'm going to teach. This is more of a town hall that I'm hoping will encourage people to join, people to be able to interact with the community. And, something's only as good as people interacting. If there's nobody in there dropping information or interacting, it's not a very fun place to show up and be. So, you guys, either one of you have anything for me? No? Okay.
What I
Uh,
will say, I'll just, this is my first town hall, because you guys are just starting to do these.
yeah,
I've been listening to the videos, watching the videos, and kind of following you for a while. And I will say I think you've done a much better job in the last couple of months of defining a lot better what you guys are doing, what everything includes. So that helped, because before it was a little scattered, but now it seems to be much more focused for me on what you're doing. So I'm probably going to join the local agency elite to start and get my feet wet. I don't put a lot of information out there about myself, only because I stay in the background. I'm the secret weapon. And so
right.
you'll even find a hard time finding a picture of me. I don't really do social media. I don't do anything because I don't want to conflict with my clients. So
Right, because if
um,
you're basically their white label secret weapon, um,
yeah,
but what you would do, like inside like agency elite or something like that, is if you started seeing, the newbies coming in that were, struggling with things like that, you could be that mentor that came alongside them. And, we all have to have our capacity, like what, like you said, you have several VAs working with you, your son works with you. So you've got quite a staff. And so you may have the capacity to to take on, maybe, somebody with the map engine, or, different things like that, or at least come alongside them. And that is very helpful, but and it wouldn't necessarily conflict with what you are currently doing for the agencies that you work for. So you could kind of still be the student's, secret weapon, if that was something that you were interested in doing. But yeah, 2024 was a year of iterations. And when we first started the town halls back in February, all of it was being done out in the open. And then and I was the one that was only hosting them. But then when Russell would hop on them, sometimes he would go into things that were a little bit more technical. And so, then we kind of moved them into behind the paywalls. And so 2024 was iterations. It was what's working, what's not working, where do we want to go with this? Because when we originally created this network in October of 2023, it was just a training area with Mike Long and David Mills for the Q Miracle or the Quora answer engine syndication that Russell was teaching on. It was never intended to be what it has come about. And what happened with that was, as we started interacting with the students, we realized a lot of them came into Q Miracle without the basic skills necessary. I mean, like, if you don't know, if you don't want to, if you don't have clients, well, Q Miracle is not really worth it. And you need to know why you need something like Quora, why you need the high domain authority backlinks, all that kind of stuff. We realized that a lot of it was really overcomplicated and over the head of a number of the students that were in the area. And so in order to make it more accommodating, we realized that, you know, there's a lot of things that everybody needs. We need something that's simple, that most of the ones that we're looking for business, local, to help local area businesses, which usually ends up, with the maps, because it's a great way to start. But then how do you set yourself apart? And I realized that over the course of this year, as we started coming into Q4 of 2024, Russell and I really were able to focus exactly where we wanted to go. We realized that what he did and what I did were completely different, which is why we did the split from Move 37 to Agency Elite, because, I really wanted to treat the whole patient. I Whether or not you wanted to go super deep into SEO and be technical like you are, because you're the secret weapon, or whether you just wanted help with starting an agency, going out, sales prospecting, you know, um, I've done, very high ticket items. I was in investment banking, where we did, hundreds of millions of dollar transactions. And so, you know, high ticket sales and prospecting and cold calling, those are things that I've done my entire career since I graduated from college in 1993. So, as I started my start in digital. It was that I owned a grand format digital printing company, and in Vancouver, Canada. And I remember, I bought my first MacBook at Sears. So, um, or the color, you could pick what color Mac you wanted, and it was all in one option. And so when we go through the iterations of where we started at in 2023 to where we finally decided that in Q4 where we wanted this to be and what we wanted it to be. It's never changed from the fact that I want to have a community where people can grow and develop together, with integrity. And I came into SEO with Russell and Jimmy and Daryl. So I've never known anything other than, Russell, Jimmy, and Daryl. Like, they were the people that I hung out with. They're the people that I really, came back into SEO with, because I left the digital space about the time that the time that Russell was starting. I left the digital space and went to more tangible things. But so coming back to digital and, looking at SEO and how web development and content creation and stuff had changed in those 20 years since I'd been in it in 1999, was quite a change. So, but one of the things that has come about is that you hear so many people say, well, SEO is a terrible deliverable. SEO, people go out there, they sell SEO, and then they overpromise and underdeliver because they don't know how to position what SEO really is. They don't know how to build the value in SEO, and they don't know how to set the client's mindset. And I would have presumed that if you're the secret weapon behind the gate, that you've kind of told these agencies what you're capable of and what you're not capable of, so that they're not out selling the moon and the stars when you're only capable of just getting a few thousand feet past the stratosphere. So, um, that
Bring me in when they have trouble. So it's not the easy SEO clients, it's the really hard SEO clients. But
right.
I also come from actually a printing and publishing background. Was in senior sales, had a $16 million quota. But yeah, no, I started one of the first digital printing facilities for Continental Graphics in Los Angeles. And so I know exactly what you're talking about. But I was in, VP of sales and marketing for 25 years and then decided to just kind of go out on my own. So, but
Yeah.
what I like
You
is
know,
that you guys are a great resource and that you're
yeah,
creating your own tools and what you're teaching really works, which I can't say for a lot of people because I've looked at a lot of things. And so that's what draws me to what you're doing.
yeah. You know what, I spend a lot of time, watching what other people are teaching, especially with regards to ones that are trying to create a meta agency type of a community scenario. And to me, it seems like they're all saying the same thing. They're like, oh, start calling all the HVAC companies and all the plumbers and all this and all that. And it's like, okay, well, first of all, there's only so many of them out there. And if every new that's out there is trying to call them, and, they're getting all these phone calls, and they're not, it's all about market positioning. It's all about what you're selling and what you're not selling, what you can deliver and what you can't deliver. And so that's really what I'm focusing on as far as the newbies. And then with the SEO and the Move 37 Mastermind, it's really about, killing sacred cows, you know, um, not being so stuck on, oh, well, I'm, a Corey Goober follower, I'm a Jimmy Kelley follower, or I only do what Greg Morrison does, or or I only do what Daryl Osborne tells me to do. But really testing the things that are out there and saying, well, okay, well, if you do this site structure, does it really last, or does it give you immediate rankings and then in 60 to 90 days it comes crashing down because there's so many panda penalties on the site that it can't hold. um, and so that's, the what we're trying to get into there is, and especially like with this Cora thing that Russell originally started the entire network with, it was that, you can get so busy with what you're doing that you're not able to complete the task. And by having the mastermind, as you know, because you're a participant in a number of masterminds, is sometimes you can press farther than the person that comes up with the original visionary idea, and you can take it all the way to its limits and find out where it actually works. You can maybe give it the nos necessary to make it even better than what it was originally created at. And that's what we're already finding to be the case in Move 37, is that a lot of these inventions that Russell has come up with, I mean, back in his days of Network Empire and Theme Zoom, he there's so much that's being taught, even there's so much that's being done with what SEOs are, if you find SEOs on platforms like Fiverr, Upworks, or, some of those other, a lot of them are using the SEO training that Daryl taught, that Jimmy taught, that Russell taught, as far back as like 2010. And that's what they're using to get the results. And there is some things that are true today. If you actually invested the money into, some blog networks and some of the things that they taught early on, and you have maintained, the cost of that, those things still work. But, we never know unless we get together in the same room and talk about those things and see what's working and what's not working. And sometimes it's not even replicatable, because if you didn't spend the hundreds of thousands of dollars to create the software or to create the blog network or to, do the things that were taught all that time ago, it's not like you can go back and recreate it. So then you have to partner up with the people that did. Yes, it's working. Yes, it gets instant results, but you don't have it. So you can use my system, and, you partner with people like that. And then it's a win-win situation. So if you do have those trouble clients, like you end up getting, and that's what we found in just the agency with Russell being who he is, that most of the time it was after the agency had had a client for months and wasn't getting anywhere with them, and the clients were about ready to quit, that's when they would bring them to us, and we were supposed to like whip out our magic wand and all of a sudden, make things rank. Now we could oftentimes get things to move and to get them to rank, but it still wasn't exactly the positioning. Maybe it wasn't exactly that keyword, or maybe it didn't increase, even though you can be ranked. And as you know this, Paul, sometimes somebody can rank really well, but they're not answering their phones. They're not looking in their lead box. People are filling out lead forms, and whoever is responsible for, managing the leads is not even checking the box, to see what leads have come in and responding to them. And they want to blame the SEO for not getting them the rank, not getting them leads and phone calls. While when you're running, local dominator or local Falcon or keyword.com, for the keywords that you were given for them, they're ranked in, the top 5 or 6 position. You can't change if somebody doesn't collect reviews or they have bad reviews. At the end of the day, it's not just rankings that get people to pick up the phone and call you or fill out the form and actually submit a lead request from you. And that's all about positioning and sales. And so
Absolutely.
that's where I'm really coming in at with the agency elite, is trying to position yourself so that you don't end up, behind the 8 ball, because you can show them what you're doing, where you're going. And SEO is a long game. It's not an instant results game. You want instant results, you got to do PPC, but you can't do PPC forever, because the cost per click goes up the longer you do it. So if you're not doing SEO in conjunction with your PPC, the cost of that PPC can quickly become unmanageable and not render the results that it was initially.
Agree 100%.
Yeah. Oh, Mike, you got anything? I know you're in the background. Do you have the capacity to unmute and ask any questions, or do you have any comments on what we said? If not, unless you have something more you would like to add, Paul, I think we'll bring this one to a close. And obviously, the more people that begin to join us on these town halls, the more engaging they will be, the more questions I'll be able to answer, um, the more insight I'll be able to give. But
I
otherwise,
look, I look forward to it. Thank you.
I want to thank you too for taking the time to show up today. God bless and have a great weekend.
Thank you.